And I have a special guest in the studio with me right now. Tommy Saint is here, a London-born artist blending genres into a sound that's sharp, versatile, and unmistakably his own.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, random question.
Mm-hmm.
What artist would have to drop an album for the internet to break?
Like Billie Eilish, maybe.
Okay, yeah. When did you last drop?
Maybe last year or this year. Earlier this year, I feel like. Yeah, there's only a few artists that when they drop, I'm like, let me go and listen and not do anything else. Like some albums, if I'm interested, I might listen on the move, on the tube or whatever. Yeah, but there's certain artists, there's only a select few that I will like sit down at home, headphones on, close my eyes, listen to the whole thing. And Billie Eilish's last album was one that I did that for. So I feel like I would really tune in for that.
How did you get into music? What's your journey in music, and how did you start loving music?
I was in I got into this little rap group when I was like 13 or so. So it was me and a few friends. And so we were making music together for like a couple of years. Yeah. And so that's how I started writing and started just kind of being in the studio and just messing around with stuff.
At 13 in the studio?
Yeah, we were in the studio and we never released anything, which I'm quite grateful for now because I feel like it wasn't it, do you know what I mean?
No one needed to hear that yet.
Yeah, no one needed to hear it. And I kind of knew at the time, I was like, this ain't really it. But it started feeling right. It felt like, okay, I feel like I could do something with this. And then, so I was doing that for a couple of years. And then when I turned like 15, 16, I decided that I wanted to do it by myself, basically, after the group had fallen apart. And so, so that's how I kind of got into it. And then after I finished school, I went to study music production. So I went and did a degree in music production. And so decided to learn how to actually do the production side of it, engineering side. And that's how I basically got into it.
Oh, that's really cool. So you started really young.
I did start relatively young, I guess, yeah.
So at 13, did you know that this is what you want to do long term? Did you know you want to be an artist, a musician?
Somewhat. I guess like 14, 15, I started kind of taking it seriously and seeing it as like a long-term thing. Like 14, 15, I think I knew this is what I wanted to do.
That's really good. Yeah. And now you're doing it.
And I'm doing it,
yeah. Yeah, that's very cool. We're going to introduce the listeners to some of your music now.
Okay, cool.
We are starting with Used To.
You don't get me high like you used to.
Used To by Tommy Saint, and he's here at Hoxton Radio with me. And you just said that you studied music production. Do you feel like that gave you a leg up in the industry?
Not in the industry as such, but I feel like just in terms of the creative process, I feel like it helped me a lot. Just kind of understand. I feel like I developed my sound based off my production style, if that makes sense. I feel like it kind of helped guide my creative direction more so than anything else. Yeah.
And in what way did it guide your creative direction? Like, how did your tutors, I guess, sort of help you find your own sound?
I feel like it was less that they would help me find my sound and more that they would just help me develop the skills I need in order to be able to go and find my sound myself. Do you know what I mean? So it's not so much like during a degree I was figuring out what I mean, I kind of was, but it wasn't so much in the classes as it was me learning like the actual logistical steps of how to do everything, and then in my own time go and take that and then go and find what I need to do through that, basically.
Yeah, but how is it finding your own sound? Like, how do you develop your own sound?
I mean, I don't know if I've developed my own sound entirely, but I feel like it's not really a conscious process. You kind of just do what feels right and do what feels fun and just make the sounds that you like to hear. And then if you just do that for long enough, I feel like you kind of develop like a little sound for yourself. It's not really a process that I kind of went into consciously. I don't think anyone really tries to go into it consciously necessarily. It's more just kind of like you do it and you just keep doing it. And before you know it, you've kind of, you built like a little style for yourself, I guess, you know? Yeah,
because you produce, you write, you sing, you do all your music, everything within your music sort of. How do you go about creating a song? What comes first?
The production will come first. Some kind of beat will come first. Usually like a half of a beat. I won't produce the whole thing necessarily. Usually like a half a beat, just the melodics mainly usually. And then I'll kind of have some kind of melodies in my mind for the vocals. And then I kind of go back and forth a little bit. I'll do some of the production, then I'll have some melodic ideas for the vocals, and then I'll do a bit more production, then come back. Lyrics is usually kind of the last thing, or like there'll be like some additional production at the end, but like lyrics comes way later after the melodies have been written for the vocals, you know. And I kind of fit in the lyrics based onto the vocal ideas I've come up with. Yeah.
And because you can do that, because you do it all, and you said you sort of go back between like the rhythm or the melodies and the beat. Does that help you make your own music because you don't have to rely on someone else to sort of help you make the beat?
Yeah, 100%. It helps as in like I could do it whenever I want. I don't have to, organize a session necessarily. So you can kind of just free flow. If you feel something, if you've got an idea quickly, you can just go straight to it and jot it down. So I feel like it does, it's a nice way of doing it. But sometimes I do sometimes work with other producers here and there. And that's also nice sometimes to just take a break from like wearing all of the hats at once. And I can just go into artist mode and just focus on the vocals and the writing and kind of leave them to the other part of the process. So that's nice to do sometimes as well. But yeah, there's pros and cons to it. Yeah. Sometimes it's a bit long to do everything. And sometimes I'm like, if I have an idea for the lyrics, but I want to, I feel a bit scattered between the two, jumping between the two a little bit. But I feel like I've kind of found a way to do it at the point. Yeah.
And you said when you work with other producers, you can go into artist mode. Yeah. What do you mean by that? Because surely if you're producing, you're also in artist mode. Yeah,
definitely. But as in like, I can just leave, like, it's nice to not really be looking at the laptop. They're not looking at the screen, just see them and I'm like, wow, they're just doing 1,000 things. They're tweaking a bass. They're finding this song with. It's nice to be like, I don't have to worry about doing all this stuff that I'm usually doing. I could just go and just look at just what I'm writing down basically and just purely think about that and leave the other stuff. I mean, I'll still be somewhat involved in the production, obviously, and giving my opinion on it, but it just allows me to just focus on what my voice is doing first and foremost,
Yeah, I get it now. Because I was like, what does he mean? Because artists' production is also artistry. All of these aspects are artists. But I get that you just sort of want to leave that. I get it now.
Yeah, especially when I'm working with a producer, like where we kind of know how to work together. It's nice for me to, if I have an idea, like, yo, try and do this. And then they can kind of just figure out how to actually make that happen. But I only really work with like 2 or 3 producers. Here and there, but like I've got to the point now with them where like I can throw them an idea and they know how to go and do it, and so that's nice to sometimes do rather than like I leave the hard bit to them. I'm like, okay, just figure out how to make that
that's
work.
That's not my problem today.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you have an artistic or a creative idea and you say you give it to someone else to deal with it, how is it wording an artistic idea to give someone else and them seeing your vision?
I feel like it's relatively easy for me at this point because I produce, I can kind of use the terms needed to kind of get it across to them. I feel like it would be quite difficult for me if I wasn't comfortable with production to kind of try and, I feel like then it can be quite difficult to try and describe because you know exactly what you mean, but it's kind of would be hard to describe it. But I feel like I can kind of get my ideas across, given that I can produce as well, so I can get quite specific with the terms, I guess, and so that makes it a lot easier to kind of translate what I mean.
Control by Tommy Saint, and he's here at Hoxton Radio with me, and we're having a great conversation about his music. What's been the most exciting part of your journey so far where you thought like, yeah, this is actually happening. I'm actually doing this.
I don't know if it's so much as a moment as it is just certain phases where I kind of fall into the flow and I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this. Things are kind of moving. So I don't know if it's specifically a moment as much as it is like just certain periods. There was when I dropped my EP a couple of years ago, I had like a launch party, like a listening party. And so I invited a bunch of my friends, a bunch of people from everywhere in my life, and everyone came and we did like a listening party. And that was really cool. That was really nice to just see all of my people in the same room. And that was one of the first times it actually like translated live in a sense, because usually it's just on Instagram or Spotify or whatever, and you kind of see these numbers, but to see everyone in the room kind of enjoying the music and just socializing, that was a really nice moment where it felt like kind of made sense, you know?
Yeah, that must be cool when you see like there are actual people here. People who like what I do.
Yeah.
It probably makes it more tangible for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very different feeling and it feels more real.
Yeah, because all the numbers on like Spotify and all the other things when it says like so many people listen to your songs, like that's so hard to picture.
Yeah.
Like if somewhere says like 90,000 people listening to your songs, I don't know how, like 90,000 is a crazy number, but like you can't visualize it.
Yeah, it loses its meaning. And also there's a constant, there's like an infinite amount of reference points because you could tell one person 90,000 and they're like, oh, that's not that impressive. So-and-so's got this amount. You could tell another person, they're like, oh my God, that's a crazy amount. And so there's like it can go either direction. So you don't really know where you sit with it, you know?
That's
and it's kind of hard it kind of loses its meaning after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I get that. But 90,000 people is a crazy amount of people.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like anything, even with social media, when people are like, oh, I only have like 50,000 followers, that's a crazy amount of people.
Yeah, it's insane.
I don't even know what venue has 50,000. I don't know. I'm terrible at this
stadium stuff, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. If you visualize, if you can, it's a crazy amount of people. But we're so distorted now with like, oh, you have to have 1 million followers. You have to have like 20 million listeners. No, you don't. You really don't. If you have like 90,000 people who listen to your music regularly, that is an amazing achievement.
No, for sure.
Yeah, we forget sometimes.
For sure, yeah. It's easy to get trapped into
that. It's definitely true. But what does it take to stay consistent with making music?
I don't know, for a while I was struggling with either being in a phase of making music consistently or being in a phase of like releasing music consistently and filming visuals and stuff. And so it's taken me a little while to get to the point where I can kind of do it all at once, if that makes sense. Because I'd either be in a phase of creating or I'd be in a phase of like planning, releasing, promoting content stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it took a while for me to be able to do it all at once, if that makes sense, and make music and finish off music while I'm planning the next release and while I'm planning this visual. And so I've kind of ish gotten to a point now where I feel like I'm finding that formula a bit easier. But it is really hard to do. It is difficult to kind of balance it all at once, you know, especially amongst just other general life stuff that you need to do. And like, there's so much to it. And if you want to be consistent on socials, like every post that you do, it might just look like a simple video, but there's a lot of planning that goes into it, and a lot of like, it's very time consuming. Yeah, I'm sure you know as well. Like it's a full-time job in itself if you want to do it properly.
It is. That's why I'm always like, I'm so impressed with people who have like their normal job and are still doing music. It's a lot that goes into it, because I make videos for socials, but that's just the video aspect. You have so much more prep to do for the videos that you release. It's just what we as the viewers, listeners see. Right. But you got to write the song, you need to produce the song, you need to record the song, then you need to think about what the visual. It's so many steps that lead to that one video that is like 30 seconds long probably, and people just scroll past it. It upsets me. Like I'm like, with any content where you can see people put effort into it, I'm like, that's the thing about music and all these things. Everything's become so disposable because it's so easy accessible. Everything. Because back in the day, we know you had tangible CDs, you had records, all that stuff, and you had to go out to buy it. So you've invested time, and that time sort of made the purchase more important. Right. And now it's just sort of like, we've got it here. It's so easy.
Yeah. It's a long game. It is.
But still, like, it's still, and there's still the flip side. It also makes it easier to make music. You know, it's easier to distribute your music by yourself. You don't have to necessarily have other parties involved. You can do everything by yourself, and it's still going to reach people. Yeah. That's the good thing about it.
True. I think about that sometimes, how lucky I am in music to just be able to just get on with it, and how quick I can move with it. Because I have some friends who are like video directors, and they do films and adverts and whatnot, and seeing their process and seeing how long it takes between like the initial idea and the actual like finalized product. By the time you have to plan the shoot, you usually need a bunch of people involved to actually film it, edit it, color grade, whatever, to get the whole production like off its feet and then actually finalize it. It can take months or years even. And I look at that and then I'm like, wow, if I have an idea today, I can potentially get it done by the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And so it is very fortunate in that sense to how, you know, you could just move with it super quickly. You know, you just need your laptop and your microphone and whatnot, and you can get moving with it. So that side of it, I'm very
that's really cool.
For. Yeah,
and that's cool. Also the benefit of being a producer. Right, you literally can do everything by yourself really quickly. Yeah, well, not necessarily very quickly. Sometimes really quickly. Yeah, but theoretically,
on a good day, if it goes to plan. Yeah,
but either way, like it's about keeping the process in house, I'd say. And I did ask another artist the other day if you can sort of tell which one's going to be the popular song, but you say you can't. You don't know.
It seems to be the consensus from all the artists I've spoken to that not really. So maybe sometimes you know, but I hear so many stories of people being like, I had no idea. Like, no way, you know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like I had an idea. Most of the time that idea is wrong, but yeah.
Fair, you try.
You don't know.
And like you said, I guess it doesn't really matter because they're all the songs are going to be out there anyway.
Yeah. I've tried to not like put an expectation on it anymore because you can kind of get disappointed if something's not received the way you expected it to be. So I try not to get overly emotionally invested anymore. As long as I just love the song, I would only put out stuff that I love anyway. So, but I feel like it's just a bit of a mindful to try and like almost predict what's going to be where. You just can't, especially with the internet and with just how things can just spike in a certain way you didn't foresee. I feel like it's a dangerous game to try and like emotionally attach yourself to how certain things might you can't really predict it, I guess, you know.
And how do you go about releasing a song? Because a lot of artists say, once I release it, it's not mine anymore. Is that how you go about it, or what's your process?
Kind of. I mean, I feel like I don't really listen to any of my music once it's released. Okay. Because I've listened to it so much until it's been released. Like, because I'm engineering it most of the time, so I'm mixing and mastering it. Like, I've listened to it 1,000 times by the time it's come out, so I don't really. Here and there, like if it maybe comes on shuffle or something, I'm like, I haven't heard this for a little.
Oh, this is mine.
Yeah, I haven't heard this for like a year or something. Let me listen to it. But for the most part, once it's out, I don't really listen to the songs. I don't feel emotionally attached to them. I just have no need to like go and listen to them. I'm busier listening to the stuff that I'm currently making, you know.
Oh, that's so interesting because a lot of artists say that they don't listen to their stuff anymore, and I sort of get it, but it also is a weird feeling because it's yours, and you're just like, whatever now.
Yeah. It's for me, like I've gotten to a point now where like because I don't really listen to my released, it's a nice treat when it does come on. If it kind of accidentally comes on, like as I said, like on shuffle or something, it just kind of comes on. It's nice because I've taken a nice ear break away from it.
Yeah.
If it's maybe been like, I don't know, 6 months, a year longer, but since I've last listened to it, it's like a nice, refreshing, I feel like I hear it through fresh ears again. Yeah. So it's quite a nice little experience, you know? And the same with music videos. I realized the other day, I think my friend had put on my music video and I was like, I haven't seen this video for like 3 years or something. I was like, I literally just, same, because I'm so involved in the editing process. I've seen it so many times, like I don't really want to see this once it's dropped, you know?
Do you get to the point where you're sick of it when you're editing and mixing, mastering, all that stuff?
Sometimes, yeah, but sometimes that like your emotions for it have like are revitalized when it drops. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm tired of this, but when you drop it and you see people respond to it or like it or whatever, you kind of it revitalizes it a little bit and you almost see it through their eyes again, and so that part of it is nice.
Yeah, that's cool. We're gonna play another song. Who knows when the last time you heard this one, called "My Phone."
Okay.
Calling my phone, it's hard for me to hate.
Kalila by Tommy Saint on Hoxton Radio, and you're listening to Moresha. And what's something that you've learned about yourself through making music?
I kind of learned how obsessive I can be, I guess, just because I care about the music so much. I care about what I'm doing. I care about the work that I'm doing. So I kind of learned how kind of obsessive and I guess like perfectionism in some sense. And then through that, I've kind of seen it in other aspects of my life outside of my work, you know? Yeah.
So do you think perfectionism is a good thing or a bad thing?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
In what way?
Good as in I feel like it can help yield some great results, and I feel like it can help you hold yourself to a really high standard and produce like the best quality of work that you can. But bad in the sense that it's an unrealistic expectation first of all to expect something to be perfect, and it can be very tiring to kind of hold yourself to like such a impossible expectation the whole time. So I feel like it's a little bit of both, you know, it goes in both directions, but you can't get the good aspect of it without the bad. So it's kind of just something you need to grapple and work with.
Because growing up, you sort of always thought perfectionism is a good thing, but I feel like the older we got, I sort of learned that it's also something that can hold you back, because you're like, it's not perfect yet. Most things are never going to be perfect. Right. And perfection is also kind of boring, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, it's nice to have a bit of rawness, a bit of like edge to things, because that's what makes it human, you know, with the whole AI music thing going on now, especially with like that. And I think the rawness is what makes art special, almost, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's this, perfectionism is a weird one.
Yeah, it is weird. It's something I've had to kind of just, like, I haven't removed it from my process necessarily. I don't think I could really, but I've definitely found ways to kind of like loosen my grip a little bit on the process and just kind of find ways to still get it to the standard that I need it to be, but without it being stressful, basically, and kind of just finding like a freer way of getting to the same result, you know?
Yeah, I like that. Who Knows by Tommy Saint, and those are your new releases. 2 tracks, nice and sweet and short. We love them, first of all.
Thank you.
What was the process behind making these?
Test My Love I had made with this producer called DC earlier this year. And it kind of fell into this bossa nova kind of sound that I'm doing at the moment. And Who Knows was an interesting one. Who Knows I made 4 years ago. Oh. Around the same time as I made Control 4 years ago as well. And so I've been sitting on them for ages. And Who Knows it was never a full track. It was just like this kind of little hook idea. And so I put it on the end of Control as like a little outro. And that was just going to be it. But then when I dropped Control, I had a bunch of people asking me about the outro and if it was going to be a full song. So I added like a verse into it and kind of stretched it out into a full-length song. Yeah. And so I decided to drop that now. But that was just sitting as like a little demo idea just on the end of Control, basically.
Yeah. So why did you sit on it for so long?
I feel like the type of sound that it wasn't really making sense with where I was at the time and the other music that I was dropping. But I feel like at this stage, it felt like the right time to kind of drop it. So it kind of just depending on the other music surrounding it. I feel like if I had dropped Control among the other tracks I was dropping a few years ago, it wouldn't really sit. It wouldn't really make sense with where it was sitting, you know. Yeah. But I'm glad it's finally out.
Yeah, and they're nice tracks. Thank you. They are short, because we were just talking about length of songs. They are short. Sometimes, I don't know, it's not about a song not feeling finished, but sometimes it's just nice to have more of it. Right. You know, so you just have like a minute more to indulge like in the niceness of the tune. Yeah. And sometimes when it ends soon, you're like, oh, Like, but I guess you just run it back.
Just run it back, just replay
Just run
it.
it back. But, you know, sometimes it's just nice to live in that moment for like another minute.
It is. There is some songs I'm like, I would love an extra
Exactly.
little bit
Just
here would've been
something.
great,
But it still feels finished, but it still just needs like, not even needs. It just would be nice.
Yeah.
For like me, because I'm selfish.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
You know? So we're going to wrap this up very soon.
Okay.
But I want to ask you, what are 3 things you want to have achieved in the next 5 years?
Damn, that's a huge question. Okay. I want to start performing more. I want to do my own headline show and tour as well. I want to do my own tour in the next 5 years. I would like to... I don't really do many features right now. I don't really do many collaborations. I want to start getting more into my collaborations and features and working with a lot more artists. So I've got some stuff planned at the moment, and I've got some tracks there with other people, but that's something I definitely want to reach more into. And I also... I do some scoring stuff, so I produce sometimes for adverts and stuff like that.
Cool.
So I do kind of like soundscape stuff and make scores. And so I would like to score for either a short film or maybe if I can in the next 5 years, maybe a full-length film.
Let's go the full-length film.
Let's go. Why not?
Let's go big.
That's something I would definitely love to do.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Those are some good dreams, aspirations you have there, and also achievable.
Yeah. I'm trying to make them realistic here so no one calls me out.
Yeah. No, but sometimes we have to dream big. Like we do
Sure.
all these things because we want to be somewhere, we want to achieve something. So might as well dream big.
For sure.
And like put it out in the universe that the universe can reciprocate our dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up for the rest of 2025?
I have a few more tracks coming on the way. Couple collaborations actually.
Cool.
Like I was just mentioning, so I got a few of those on the way. And then just getting the music ready for 2026. You know, I'm just back more
Stay
and more. As
consistent.
soon as the next one's done, on the way with the next one, you know.
Nice.
And I got some shows planned for early next
Cool.
year.
Okay,
Yeah.
lovely. I'll be there.
Yes, thank
I
you.
love a live show. We
Yeah.
love a live
Okay.
show.
Okay.
And where can people follow you, find you?
Tommy Saint on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Tommy Saint on Spotify. Yeah, I'm there.
Lovely. So make sure you check out Tommy Saint on socials, but most importantly, his music, especially because he has new music coming out soonish, maybe?
Yes. soon.
Soon. And make sure you follow his journey because it's going to be a good one. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next week.